Howdy howdy, my name is John, and this video is a combination of review of Persuasion by Jane Austen and the Persuasion book tag. I was tagged by Amy at potatobrarian, and I'll link her channel below. The tag was created by Amrita by the book, and I'll link her video and channel below as well. Since Amy tagged me for this, I decided that I would go ahead and read the book before I did the tag, as I had not read this book prior. This is just going to be a short review. I didn't really care for this book. I gave it 3 stars. There are definitely parts of this book that I appreciated. Namely the section where Anne goes to visit her old school friend. I didn't really care for the writing style, and to be honest, I found the adventures of the idle rich to be mostly dull. Still, I know a lot of people love this book, and here again, if you're into this type of writing style and storytelling, then hey, that's great for you. Now, on to the questions. Question number 1. Persuasion, like many Austen books, has been successfully adapted to screen many times. Name your beloved on-screen adaptation of a book published before 1900. I really kind of wanted to say The Wizard of Oz for this one, but guess what year it was published? 1900, and the question says before, so I had to do a little bit more digging. Fortunately, I found The Importance of Being Earnest. I really enjoyed this when I read it in high school. I really enjoyed the movie starring Colin Firth and Frances O'Connor. Question number 2. In Persuasion, Anne and Captain Wentworth really go through the wringer. What's your favorite angsty romance that isn't them? I've not gotten to talk a lot about the Robotech series. Really enjoyed reading those novels. And for this question, I'm going to have to go with Rick and Lisa. Lisa is an older woman, and she's kind of the buttoned up type. She's actually a commander in the global space force. And Rick is a young, brash pilot. Rick makes a lot of dumb mistakes over the course of the novels, and these largely revolve around his infatuation with an old flame of his. Question number 3. Captain Wentworth is a naval captain. Tell us about a book featuring a lead character who is in a branch of the military. For this one, I'm going to have to go with World War in the Balance by Harry Turtledove. This book imagines a world where aliens invade during the middle of World War II. Since the war is ongoing, this happens after the Nazis have invaded the Soviet Union. Several of the main characters are members of the military. You've got Sam Yeager, who was playing baseball before the aliens invaded it and who winds up as a private in the American Army. You've got British Royal Air Force officers. You've got a German tank commander. You've got a Russian Air Force pilot who was actually one of the women pilots that was used during the war. British naval captains were famous adventurers. What's your favorite adventure story? For this one, I'm going to have to go with Homeland by R.A. Salvatore. This is a bind-up of 3 novels, and of which Homeland is the first. This tells the story of Dritz from birth until the time he leases Menzo Branson. While Homeland does happen first in chronological order, I would actually suggest that you read the Icewind Dale trilogy first. Those were written first, and I think they give you a picture of who Dritz becomes, and then go back and read the 3 in this volume as kind of prequel novels. Question number 5. Anne is quite a dutiful sister. What's your favorite literary sibling relationship? I'm going to have to go with the Weasley siblings in the Harry Potter series. I mean, really, can you get any better brothers than Fred and George? And honestly, I really like all of the siblings in that relationship. I mean, every family has to have a Percy, right? Question 6. By the standards of the time, Anne was a spinster. What is a book where the female lead is an older woman? One of the main characters in Fire Sale is a grandmother named Grania, or just Nia for short. Grania has gotten to the age where her children and grandchildren have started to ignore her. So she goes to the good magician Humphrey and gets enlisted on an adventure. This is one of my favorite of the Zant series. I wound up giving it 4 stars because I was a little disappointed with the ending of this one. Question 7. Persuasion is one of the most critiqued reference books in English literature. Name a book whose plot or characters or central ideas reference another book. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I've been reading along in the Divine Comedy along with Tom L.A. Books. He's been doing a video per canto, and I'm guessing that by the end of April we'll either have finished Inferno or we'll nearly be finished with Inferno. For April, I thought I would read Inferno by Larry Niven and Jerry Purnell. I first read this for class back in college, and I really enjoyed it. So hopefully by the end of the month, I will have finished Dante's version of Inferno, and I could compare it with fresh memory to this novel. This novel was published in 1976, and it takes a man of those times down through the levels of hell. Question 8. Captain Wentworth made his fortune at sea. Tell us about a book with a self-made lead character. Really, the only one I could think of here was The Great Gatsby. Question number 9. Persuasion has a lot to say about traditional gender roles. What's a book that plays with traditional gender roles? For this one, I'm going to choose the entire Earth Children series by Jean M. Austen. In the first book, we follow a young girl who is basically a modern human, but she is adopted by a clan of Neanderthals. The Neanderthals have very rigid gender roles. The men hunt, the women gather and cook. In the later books, the young woman, whose name is Ayla, encounters other human tribes, and in those tribes there's much more of an egalitarian society. Women in these tribes can hunt, they hold positions of leadership, and the other role assignments, basically people are allowed to choose whatever profession that they want to. There are definitely some things about all that kind of annoyed me as I read through this series. If a prehistoric fiction appeals to you, I highly encourage you to give this series a try. Question number 10. Finally, tell us a bit of trivia, a fun aside, a personal anecdote related to either Persuasion or any other work by Jane Austen. So, Persuasion was the first novel of Jane Austen's that I've read. I have seen a movie of another one of her works. I did watch Mansfield Park, based off of the recommendation of Murphy Napier. This adaptation stars Frances O'Connor as Fanny. And here again, I enjoyed the movie. It's not something that would have inspired me to read the book. Question 11, tag. So I tried to narrow my tags to people who I knew have read Jane Austen, but as far as I know, have not done this tag yet. The first one I'm going to tag is Summer at Cozy Reading for Quaker Capt. When I mentioned to her that I was going to read this one, she said that Persuasion was her favorite Jane Austen novel. Next, I'm going to tag Amy at A Star Reads, who mentioned to me that she's actually planning on reading Persuasion this April. Next, I'm going to tag Eliza Baum. She likes reading Jane Austen retellings. Finally, I'm going to tag Beth Ann of the really long and hard to pronounce last name. She was showing off her collection of Jane Austen novels in one of her previous videos. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.